Didn't cause the crash, but now you're dealing with the damage, the injuries, and 100 questions about what to do next. You assume the other driver's insurance will take care of it, but things get complicated fast, missteps, lowball offers, delays that leave you stuck. The longer you wait, the harder it is to protect your rights and get what you're actually owed. I'm Jason Marker, a personal injury attorney here in Illinois, and I help people navigate exactly what happens right after a crash that's not your fault. In this video, I want to walk you through what to expect, what to avoid, and how to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of while you're still trying to recover. So the accident just happened and you know that it wasn't your fault. Maybe you were sitting at a red light when someone rear-ended you, or you were going through an intersection and somebody blew a stop sign. Either way, it's a stressful moment. I understand. But here's the good news. Illinois law is set up to protect people in your shoes. The claims process starts right here at the scene. First thing you need to do is make sure that everyone is safe and call 911 if anyone is hurt. In Illinois, you're required to report any car accident that results in injury, death, or anything more than $1,500 in property damage. That's almost every crash these days. The police will file an unofficial report, which is extremely important for your claim later. While you wait for the police officers to arrive, take pictures of the scene. Get wide shots, close-up, and detailed shots of your car, the other driver's car, skid marks, the surrounding area. If there are witnesses, ask them for their contact information. You'll thank yourself later if the witness statements can make or break your case, especially if the other driver tries to change their story later. If you're hurt at all or even in some mild pain and you think it won't go away, go check it out at a doctor or hospital. Sometimes injuries don't show up until hours or even days after a crash. Documenting everything right away will help your claim. Insurance companies in Illinois look for gaps in medical care as an excuse to underpay or deny your claim. Don't give them that chance. Okay, let's talk about how the money part works. Illinois is an at-fault state, which means whoever caused the crash, their insurance pays for the damage. If you're not at fault, you have a few options getting your car fixed and your medical bills covered. Option 1, file a claim with the other driver's insurance company. This is what's called a third-party claim. Their insurance will investigate, and if they agree their driver was at fault, they'll pay for your repairs, your rental damages, and medical bills if you have them. Option 2, file with your own insurance company even though you were not at fault. This is called a first-party claim. It's sometimes the fastest way to get your car back on the road or get medical treatment, especially if the other driver's insurance is dragging their feet or denying your liability. If you use your own insurance, your company will usually go after the at-fault driver's insurance later in the process. This is called subrogation. In Illinois, if your insurance has to step in, then they'll likely refund your deductible once they get paid back. Here's a quick example from a real case. A past client, let's call her Maria, was hit at an intersection by a distracted driver. The other driver's insurance company kept delaying and wouldn't accept fault because their driver claimed that Maria came out of nowhere. Maria's own insurance company stepped in and paid for her car repairs and medical bills right away, and then they went after the other company for reimbursement. Eventually, they got all of their money back, and Maria didn't have to wait months to get her life back to normal. Just because you weren't at fault doesn't mean that the insurance companies will take your word for it. They do their own investigation. This usually involves looking at the police report, studying the photos from the accident, talking to witnesses, and sometimes even sending out their own adjusters to inspect the vehicles. In Illinois, we have what's called comparative negligence. This means that fault can be shared by different drivers. If the insurance company thinks that you are even a little bit at fault and responsible, say 10%, possibly that could reduce the amount you get. But if you're more than 50% at fault, you can't recover anything. So it's critical to get your side of the story clear. When you talk to the insurance company, stick to the facts. Don't guess or fill in details that you're not sure about. Don't say, "I'm sorry," or "I could have braked sooner." Those phrases can be twisted into admissions of fault. If you're worried about how to handle these, this is the perfect time to talk to an attorney. We handle these calls all the time, and we know how to protect you from tricky questions. Now let's get into what everyone asks first. How do I get my car fixed? Once fault is accepted, either by the other driver's insurance or your own, you'll get an estimate from repairs. In Illinois, you have the right to choose your own repair shop. You don't have to use the preferred shop the insurance company suggested to you in Illinois. If your car is totaled, which means the cost of the repair is more than it's worth, the insurance company will offer you what they consider the actual cash value of your vehicle. If you think the offer is too low, you can challenge it. Gather listings for similar cars, receipts for recent work, proof of your car's condition. I've helped clients push back successfully and get thousands more by showing the true value of their vehicle. While you wait for repairs or a payout, you're usually entitled to a rental car. In Illinois, if the other driver was at fault, their insurance should pay for your rental. If there's a dispute over fault, your insurance might cover it first and get reimbursed later. Always keep receipts. Let's talk about injuries because those are often more complicated than the car repairs. Even if you have health insurance, you may still owe deductibles or copays after crash. If you miss work and you've lost paychecks, that'll add up fast. The at-fault driver's insurance is responsible for paying all of the medical bills and your lost wages. But here's the catch. They usually don't do that as you go. They want to pay one time at a lump sum at the very end, when you're done with all of your treatment. That means you might be on the hook for bills up front, or your health insurance will pay them first and then seek reimbursement later. If you have MedPay coverage on your own auto policy, then it will pay right away sometimes for the medical costs, regardless of who's at fault, up to the limits of your policy. This can be a lifesaver while you're fighting the case and before you get to settlement. Another tip, keep track of every single expense related to your accident. Doctor's visits, medications, physical therapy, gas to and from appointments, even things like housekeepers if you can't clean due to your injuries. The more detailed your records, the better your claim. I once worked with a client named Dave who suffered a back injury after being hit by a driver running a stop sign. Not only did we collect his emergency room and doctor bills, but we also got him compensated for a month of lost work, physical therapy bills, and even mileage for every trip to the doctor. And we did that because he kept every receipt and note, and his settlement was much higher. Once you've finished all of your medical treatment, or you've got a clear sense of what your costs will be, your attorney will put together a demand package. This includes all of your medical records, proof of your lost wages, photos, the police report, and a letter explaining why the other driver was at fault. This is sent to the insurance company with a request for a specific amount of money, which we call a demand. The insurance company can accept, deny, or negotiate. Most cases settle without a lawsuit, but if the offer is unfair, filing a lawsuit is sometimes only the next step. In Illinois, you generally have 2 years from the date of your accident to file a personal injury lawsuit. Don't wait too long. Evidence gets lost, memories fade, and you don't want to lose your right to recover. When you do settle, the insurance company will send a check either to you or your attorney's office. If you have any medical bills that haven't been paid, your attorney can help make sure that those are taken care of first so that you're not left owing anything out of your settlement. Here's the truth. Not every accident needs a lawyer. If you have no injuries and you just need your car fixed, you might be able to handle it on your own. But if you heard it all, if there's a little dispute over fault, or if the insurance company is lowballing you, talking to an attorney can make a huge difference. Most personal injury lawyers in Illinois work on a contingency, which means you don't pay anything unless we win. I've seen too many people try to handle cases themselves and end up with way less than they deserve. Insurance adjusters are trained to save their company money. They know all the tricks. Having an experienced attorney in Illinois in your corner levels the playing field. So if you're in Illinois and you've been through a not-at-fault car accident, the claim process in a nutshell is make sure everyone is safe, document everything, file a claim with the right insurance, gather proof of all your damages, and don't be afraid to call for help if things get complicated. But here's the thing. What you do in those days, minutes, or hours after the crash can have a huge impact on your claim. Don't miss our next video, 5 biggest mistakes that people make after a car accident. I'll walk you through the most common slip-ups I see and how to avoid them so you don't end up leaving money on the table and losing your rights. If you found this helpful or have more questions, check out the next video now. Protect yourself and protect your family and get the outcome that you deserve. We'll see you over there.